Hi everybody, the old Duffer again, working on the old Freedom truck. Back end, starting at the back, working forwards, chassis coming along nice. Brake shoes have only worn away on the top, not the bottom. The expander mechanism must have jammed and it's worn right down to the rivets on the top. And now that takes years. It's only done 6,200 miles, so I would think that expander has been jammed for most of its life. To have done that, but the hub seal was also leaking, so on both sides, and the pinion seal. So we're going to pop that drive shaft out, undo the nut if I've got the right spanner, and get the hub off so I can get the seal matched up with a seal specialist. We've got shoes coming. I will get these relined, but I've got a set coming, and I've got to get the pinion seal out as well. Try and get that done today. So I'm going to show you how to get this apart. Old trucks like this, left hand side, left hand thread. The thinking was back in the day that if it's rotating in the direction of doing it up, the wheel nuts won't come undone. Well, as we know from decades of experience, they generally don't come undone anyway. They're torqued up properly. So yeah, if you're ever working on an old bus, it's probably got left hand threads on the left hand side. So if you don't come undone easy, don't keep rattling away, you might snap the stud off. And we are toying with the idea of putting jewels on the back. So we need to put longer studs in, and these are 7/8 BSF studs, but the studs will need a cone which sits in the cone inside your wheel to centralise it. Well, these don't have it because the wheel nut's got the cone to hold it on with a single wheel. And being we're not doing mega off-road work with it, we're only going to do, you know, getting out a muddy field when we're at a show somewhere. Having four-wheel drive will be bleeding handy. So we're on about putting jewels on it, being we have jewels. So anyway, I'm going to rattle that drive flange out and see if I've got a spanner big enough to get the nut undone, and all the wheel bearings, a whole lot will come out. I'll put a bucket underneath. This will have a bit of residue oil from the diff because I haven't drained it yet. So I'm just going to whip this out and we'll see what comes. Now, this is going to make a bit of a racket on the old microphone, and do yourself a favour and get yourself a tray to put your bits in. Don't just chuck it all over the floor. Yeah, look, the studs are going to come out. So right, here we go, let's rattle them off. Now, just because these are left hand thread, everything else is generally right hand thread. That one's rounded. Might have to find a different socket for that one. Whoops, missed. Right. I need to find my 20mm impact socket. Hang on a minute, don't run away. If in doubt, grab the lot. It's gonna be, see my fat arse. Not that one. It's that one. Should use an impact socket, really, on an impact gun anyway. Shouldn't use a standard one. It is a bit naughty, I must admit. The lovely smell of high-point gear oil. Oh, come on, let go. Right, that one should now come out. Right, and these studs are supposed to be secured and shouldn't have come out, so when we put them back in, we will Loctite them. Give them a little wiggle, and out she comes. Oh, there's a big one. There you go. 1/2 shaft. Put that in your Land Rover. Right. Yeah. And we've got a tab washer in there, which I need to get a punch and dink him round, and we should be able to undo it. Never got the right tools in the right place at the right time. Yeah, there was less oil come out of there than I thought there was going to come out, but it has been parked up for a while. So that's going to fit. Please nick me tab, well, there it is. Got the tab out of the way. Do you do 1 or 2? Can't see for looking. No, it should come undone now. Let's see. Come on. No. It's going to argue with me all the way. It's just the tabs picking up on the notches, that's all. But the only way to get the seal out is to take the hub and the bearings off. Come on. Whee, there we go. One locking ring. See if that'll come out. Come on, out it comes. Come on. Okay. I need a pair of pliers. Yeah, I keep disappearing because my roll cab is so blooming heavy now I can't actually move it. So I have to walk to it. There you go. One locking ring locates in the main axle casing on there, and then beat these round to locate on the locking ring. Now there should be an internal nut. All these bits will be washed before they go back in, but there should be another one in there, and there is. We should be able to tap that one round. Come on. There we go. I thought that might have been a bit looser than that. Never mind. Come on. Wiggly woo. There we go. Now the art of this is to try and get this out without dropping the bearings in the mud. Oh, it's not going to come out. Yep. We gotta have you shredded. It's that seal there has decided it wants to leak after 50 years. I thought it was damned inconsiderate. Yes, I've got to pop that out and see if we can get that matched up. I have a sneaking suspicion they're actually leather. But same both sides. There you go. You've got to have your shreddies when dealing with this stuff first thing in the morning. I'll find somebody young to do it, not an old duffer like me. Right, now I can get access under all these bolts in here, and the whole back plate, the whole assembly's got to come out because that expander, the adjuster's stuck, but when the rod pulls out the back, it expands, pops the shoes out. Well, as you can see, this is down to nothing, and there's loads of material on this one, so it has been stuck for a very, very, very long time. So next job is get cleaned up and sort that out. Right, next bit, got to get a back plate off. Just thought I'd show this off. Look, I don't look quite so homeless anymore now, do I? We've got t-shirts to go with it as well. I just thought everything I've got is full of holes. I think it's about time we did something, so we have. Right, back plate's got to come off. It's only 5 bolts. It's just going to be easy to deal with on the bench. So this is probably going to be a bit loud because I'm wearing a microphone, but let's take it apart. Come on. What's that set on? Oh, it's on Gutless Wonder, that's right. Right, that one. Take the tools out. I only notice I stuck a rag in the end because there's so many bits going to fly around coming off this as I pull it out. You don't want any snot going up the end, up the tube. and getting into the gears. This lasted 65 years, so that should. Yeah, I had to escalate the tools because it was being a bit of a monkey with a pry bar and the old dead blow. But it's been on there 60 years, so you know you can forgive it for that, can't you? Give it a little bit of a wiggle, he says. There we go. Voila. You can't really see it. I'll take it apart and I'll show you, but that pulls out. The hydraulic cylinder sits on here and pulls on this, and the handbrake cable goes on the outside, and these then expand, but this one does not. So we will deal with that. But as you can clearly see, look at those shoes. That is pretty well much brand new, barely tickled the drum compared to the top one. So that's what happens when you don't look after your vehicles. Things go a bit wibbly wobbly. Now, take my spacers out like that, another one there, and we're going to have a proper clean up. There we go. This we will stick in a shot blaster and shot blast and do any repairs that are needed. There you go, got a bit of daylight there, weight reduction. Weld that up, shot blast it and repaint it, and the axle will be repainted as well. All of it will before it goes back together. But yeah, on the next bit you'll see me deal with that expander. Right, expander time. Here you go. They're supposed to do that, and this goes in there as an adjuster, but that there's a thread in there, and this is stucted after all these years, so we'll have to sort that out with the old persuader, gas axe, get it hot. And if you look in here, there's some rollers, lovely roller bearings, and it has got grease in it, and when that goes forward like that, as you can see, I can only push it so far because it gets stuck, it pushes that out, but that one has stuck. So I'm going to be very careful, he says, and we're going to just give a little bit of a tap and see if it will go. If not, I don't want to get... There we go. There you go, start to come out. It's come forward. Thankfully it wasn't that tight. There you go. Now, and it has a, I don't know if you can see that, it's got a like a taper on it. So as the roller goes forward, it pushes up that taper and forces the plungers out, and that is how they work. But this has all got very stuck and stiff. There you go. As you can see, all the grease has gone dry. Again, this is a maintenance thing. Nobody's been in here for a very, very, very long time. And that is supposed to self-center. There's a little carriage with little bearings in, and that is supposed to sit between the two. Well, as you can clearly see, it's stucted. So we will be degreasing all this and freeing it all off. But that's all that's in there. Very, very simple. Just lack of maintenance. So next bit, we'll get it in the wash tank. Right, my favourite bit. Yeah, got the gas axe. And we're not going to cut it in half. We're going to tickle it into life, as they say. It's just got a little bit on the stuck side. Now, we're obviously going to burn the plating off, and that you can get it bright zinc plated if you want. I won't bother. I should just paint it and put plenty of grease, copper slip on the thread. It'll be absolutely fine. Right, and we're not going for full blast. We just want to encourage it to get unstuck. So we'll just give her a bit of a warm. Hopefully it will just unscrew. And that funny little wheel on there is only tack welded to the shaft. There's a suppressed bit of tin, so it's meant to be quite free anyway. So, but again, I doubt if anybody's actually turned this or adjusted anything in the last. So the truck was demobbed in 1990. So what condition the oily bits were in when they were demobbed, I don't know, but it certainly hadn't had a lot of TLC since. It's been painted loads. The amount of paint I've had to take off that with a needle gun that kind of just flaked off was unreal. So, right, that is probably more than enough with a bit of luck. As you can see, I burnt the plating off, but there you go. And it will probably complain quite a bit, but we are quite lucky. We do have a platers down in Alton, which is not far from us. So if I wanted to get everything replated, I could. The biggest trouble is, if you've got lots of little bits, the platers do have a habit of losing the little bits in the bottom of their tank. And when they're ungettable little bits, like these, I'm not so keen on letting others have it. Come on, you little monkey, out you come. Again, we'll clean the threads up with taps and dies, so it'll work beautifully when it's all put back together. Right, there. And we wanted to get all these bits to go in the parts washer. Obviously this will have to cool down a bit, but I'm going to chuck them in the parts washer and let it sort of chunder away for an hour or so, and that will get all the muck off. And you can dry it out, stick it in the shot blaster. Look how well that was in there. Wow. Whew. The bench will fall over in a minute, the bolts on. There you go. No damaged threads. Don't grab the alt bit, famous last words. We'll let that cool off and we'll chuck that in the parts washer and get it all cleaned up. But I reckon it's cup of tea time.